All right, let's talk about fear. Today, we're going to get into what our ancestors were afraid of and what keeps us up at night in today's world. It's a pretty wild journey, so let's dive right in. Seriously, think about it for a second. What's the one thing that truly, deeply scares you? Is it some monster with giant claws and teeth, or is it something a little closer to home? To really get a handle on modern fear, we've got to look back, way back. And our story actually starts with a single number: 100 tons. That's how much a megalodon could weigh, the biggest shark that ever lived. Just try to picture that for a second. We're talking about pure, unstoppable physical power. This is the starting point for our story of fear. So let's get into it. For most of human history, fear was pretty straightforward. It was big, it was hungry, and it was very, very real. We're talking about the absolute titans of a lost world. I mean, look at this list. The scale here is just mind-boggling. You've got Megalodon, obviously, but then there's Titanoboa, a snake 15 meters long that weighed over a ton. It could literally crush you. And don't even get me started on Quetzalcoatlus, a flying predator the size of a small airplane. These things weren't just animals, they were walking, swimming, flying nightmares. The danger was right there in your face. And that, right there, that's what we call primal fear. It's not something you think about, it's something you feel. It's that instinctive, gut-level terror that's been hardwired into our DNA for millions of years. It's the simple, pure fear of being eaten, of being completely overpowered by something huge that you can see, hear, and probably smell coming. And this wasn't some rare occurrence. The crazy thing is, for most of Earth's history, the planet was just crawling with giant, horrifying monsters. That was just normal. That was the world our ancient ancestors had to navigate every single day. Okay, but here's the thing. All those creatures, they're gone. Megalodon isn't circling our boats anymore. Titanoboa isn't slithering through the jungle. Which brings us to a really important question. What scares us now? If the old monsters are gone, what are the new ones? And that leads us right here, to the new monsters. And the terrifying part? The horror isn't found in something giant and obvious anymore. It's hiding in the everyday, the mundane. Just look at the difference. It's night and day. Primal threats? You saw them coming. They were huge, they were physical, and their motive was super clear. They were hungry. But modern threats? They are ambiguous. They look completely normal. And their motive? Well, that's the scariest part, isn't it? We're just left asking, why? Yeah, the monster today isn't a 100-ton shark. It's the stranger at your door. It's the person sitting way too still in the hotel lobby. It's the man hiding in your closet or in the basement of your school. The threat isn't out there anymore. And this gets to a really core part of modern horror, doesn't it? It's all about what happens when the places we're supposed to feel safe suddenly aren't. It's about the violation of our sanctuaries. Just think about it. Your home, a classroom at school, your hotel room when you're traveling, even the cab of a truck. These are all places where you let your guard down, right? But in these stories, every single one of these supposed sanctuaries gets invaded. And just like that, a place of comfort becomes a place of absolute terror. Listen to this. The man is inside the house. Hurry up. That's a 12-year-old kid whispering to his mom on the phone while an intruder is in his home. Can you even imagine the panic? The way his entire sense of safety just shatters in that moment? That's what it feels like. And here's the emotional fallout. This guy said, I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment. He got a text warning him about an intruder while the intruder was standing right there with him in the dark. Wow. See, that's more than just being scared of getting hurt. It's the complete psychological destruction of feeling safe anywhere. So, okay, if it's not just about a physical threat, what makes these situations so bone-chillingly terrifying? It really boils down to the fear of the unknown. Specifically, unknown intent. It's that awful, unsettling power of not knowing why this is happening. When you look at these stories, you start to see a pattern, like a formula for modern dread. First, you get someone alone, then you introduce a threat that's weird, ambiguous, someone who looks normal but is acting off. Step 3, they invade that safe space we talked about. And the final, most important ingredient, you never find out why. That lack of a reason is what makes the fear stick with you. Think about this example. The pizza guy shows up and asks, "You alone here?"
Now, he hasn't done anything threatening, right? But that question, the intent behind it is a total mystery. Is he just making small talk, or is he checking to see if you're an easy target? That uncertainty, that's what's terrifying.
Or how about this image? A guy with a knife standing outside a cabin in the woods. But he's not trying to break down the door. He's just gently tapping the knife on the window. Over and over and over. And he's smiling. The action makes no sense. It's so bizarre, so unexplained. It's not a direct attack. It's something worse. It's psychological torture. And you have absolutely no idea what's driving it.
So when you put it all together, what does this shift in our fears really tell us about ourselves? What do our modern nightmares actually mean? Well, they're basically a mirror, reflecting our biggest anxieties back at us. You can really map out the whole evolution right here. The monster used to be a non-human beast out there in the wild. Now, it's a human stranger in our own home. The motive used to be simple survival, hunger. Now, it's this murky, unclear malice or insanity. And because of all that, the feeling has changed too. It's gone from that sharp, immediate terror to a low-level, constant dread and paranoia. When you boil it all down, our biggest fears aren't about the monsters we might run into in the jungle anymore. They're about the monsters we might be living right next to. The monster didn't go away. It just changed its address from the wilderness to our neighborhoods. And I want to leave you with this one thought, a quote that perfectly sums up modern fear. I tried to convince myself it was nothing, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being stalked, watched. See, that's the key. It's the fear that doesn't just end when the person leaves, it sticks around, because the monster could be anyone.